lash line. You guys know I don't really like to do that too much because my eyes water like a motherfucker. Whoa. Wow. Jesus. Okay, I'm gonna take that poppy color. Oh my god, if that stuff just broke. So can we just talk about how I just did this eye like 2.5 seconds ago and I already forgot how to do it? Joys of filming one eye off camera. Now I don't know how I did it. So we're gonna jump in to Burnt Orange by the Modern Renaissance palette. Okay, so you're gonna take Burnt Orange. This eye is already primed and not set. Hello. Let's go ahead and set that. I'm like so obsessed with the way this eye turned out that I hope this eye turns out the same way. Okay, now going in with Burnt Orange, we're just gonna dust that into our crease, just back and forth in windshield wiper motions. You can even do circular motions. This is gonna be our first transition color. And you can be as messy as you want with this look because we're gonna go back and sharpen everything up with concealer. Going in with the 35N palette, we're gonna jump into this color right here. And we're gonna do the exact same thing that we just did with Burnt Orange. So we're basically trying to build up the intensity of this like orangey kind of look. This is, I don't even know what I'm gonna call this, like a boho sunset kind of look. I don't even know. So we're gonna we're gonna dust this back and forth. Same thing. What is going on? Okay. Now we're gonna go back into the Modern Renaissance palette and we're gonna take the shade Realgar right here. And kind of heavily, we're gonna pack this onto our brush. Just dust it off a little bit because we want this color to be really pronounced. And we're gonna do the exact same thing that we just did as well. And you can drag this out a little bit. We're gonna go back in with makeup wipes and clean everything up. I'm going in with the clean E40. We're gonna go back in, or we're gonna go into Golden Ochre right here and just dust that over the top right here, the very top of the crease, just so it has a little bit of a gradient effect and that Realgar is a little bit blended out. Okay, so now going in with this really deep, heavy purple right here from the 35N palette. We're gonna go a little bit lower and kind of do like a V shape right here. We're gonna start building the intensity of this purple. And then you wanna drag it into the lower crease. So we're gonna do like a V shape. I like to tilt my head to the side to really give me that pronounced V shape. Sometimes I have no idea what the hell I'm saying. That was a Morphe M441, by the way. This freaking tutorial is gonna be all over the place. Now going in with the Sigma E25, we're gonna be taking this purple right here and heavily packing that, and we're gonna be heavily packing that on, and again building that color. So you're gonna wanna do like a V shape. Build it onto the outer V. Once you have it built, then you start dragging it inwards, kind of creating almost like a halo, but not putting it on the lid. So you're gonna kind of carve it out. Now, I know I'm like so sorry I'm using like 25 different palettes in this tutorial, but this look is a little bit complex. So now we're going to jump into the Jaclyn Hill Favorite palette, and we're going to take this color right here, which is really similar to Makeup Geek's Poppy, and it's like a very bright kind of poppy color. And we're going to heavily pack that on, to a Morphe M330, tap it out once, and then we're gonna blend those two colors together, which gives us that really bright, vibrant effect right here. So you're not gonna wanna go too far up, you're kinda wanna go in between those two colors and just buff everything out. Can you see like how much vibrancy that brings to the look? Drag it all the way in to the inner corner. Like I said, don't worry about this being sloppy right here. Since we haven't done our foundation, we're gonna go in with the makeup wipe and just dust it away. All right, and now once we built that poppy kind of color up, we're gonna go back in with the purple and just deepen everything up just a little bit more. Actually, this time I'm gonna be taking a mixture of those two purples that we've used and added a little bit of this color right here, which is kind of like a wine kind of color. Build up that outer V. And this is when you want to tilt your brush up, just because you don't want it to be all the way up here. You want it to stay in the crease. So you tilt your brush up and you start carving it out. You continue to carve it out, I mean. All right, go back in with that 330, no more product on it, and just buff. I know we look a little bit crazy right now, but it's all gonna come in together. So now you're gonna go in with any kind of concealer. You can take a paint pot or anything like that. I'm gonna go in with the Morphe 15 Con palette, and I'm gonna take this shade right here, which kind of reminds me of MAC Soft Ochre. And I'm gonna take a flat concealer brush, and I'm gonna begin to carve out the inner lid. We're not gonna go over this purple, we're just gonna carve out the inner lid. Okay, now that we've carved out that crease, we're gonna go in with the lid shade, or carved out the lid. Dude, I cannot speak. Okay, now I'm gonna jump into the 35O Shimmer Palette. I'm gonna take this bright, like yellowy kind of gold shade right here with a flat shader brush. Remember, a really small shader brush. We're gonna start to pack that all over the lid. You don't really need to wet it just yet because the lid is sticky. It's gonna stick to it and kind of make it more vibrant. I swear these Morphe foiled shadows are like life. So you want to place this exactly where you carved out the lid. I like to tug just so I can get it a little bit precise. You don't want to hardcore tug your eye, just slightly tug it back. Okay, so now that you can see it's like really define the purple and the gold. So we're going to go back in with that Sigma E25. You don't need any product just yet. You're just going to start to blend a little bit over the gold just to blend those two colors in together. Continuing that V shape, so keep your brush slanted. And you start to diffuse those two lines. So I'm just going to continue to work on these edges, not dragging it too far in, just keeping it at the outer V. Okay, now once that's blended out, now we're going to go in with a liner brush, a really small liner brush, and I'm going to go back in with those three colors that I used, the three purples, the deep, this one, and this burgundy right here, and I'm going to just begin to carve out my crease, really defined. So I'm going to start it right here in the center. And you want to follow basically where we carved out that lid. Just follow the outside. And you don't want to press too hard. You want to keep a very light hand and slowly carve it out. And you want to bring it all the way into the inner corner. What you're doing is basically defining the lid. So now that we have that super harsh line right there, I'm going to go in with the clean pencil brush and I'm just going to begin to blend it out so we don't have a super harsh line. It's more of like a diffused cut crease. Okay, so now the same brush that we used that poppy with, just dust it off on your hands. We're gonna go back into Burnt Orange in the Modern Renaissance palette, just dip our brush into it really lightly, and now we're gonna blend that harsh line that we did with the purple out. Just to diffuse it so it's not too harsh. Kind of like a very subtle cut crease. Now going back in with that Sigma E40, just pack on that outer lid again. I know I'm like very tedious. Okay. And for the last thing, we're gonna go back into that poppy color and just blend everything together, and then we'll go on to the wing liner. Okay, now I'm gonna go do my liner off camera, add some falsies, and do my brows, and I'll be right back to finish off the face. Okay, so I applied lashes, liner, and I fixed my brows. Okay, so I don't know if you guys can tell the difference between this eye and this eye, but underneath my brow, the shadow comes up a little bit too far up on this, so I'm gonna show you how to go back in and clean that with concealer. So basically, I haven't cleaned my brows up yet. So when I go to clean my brows up, I'm gonna clean them up like normal. Okay, and now when I go to clean up the inside, I'm just gonna drag it down a little bit further. Do you see how that kind of brings the eye look together, similar to this side? So I'm going to continue to blend it out and buff it out. Once that is diffused, I'm going to go in with a brow highlight. I'm going to be using Tempera from the Anastasia Modern Renaissance palette. I don't like to use a shimmer brow highlight because I feel like it makes your look a little bit dirty underneath your brows. I only like to put shimmer at the high points. So I'm just going to go in with this matte highlight and just set that concealer. Then I'm going to go in with a fluffy, I'm using the Urban Decay two-sided one, but just go in with any fluffy brush that you have and just diffuse everything together. So everything is very buffed and blended out, and you don't have like a straight harsh line underneath your brow. So it all looks like you meant to do that. Okay, now to finish off the rest of the face, I'm going to go in with my Makeup Forever HD stick. I still am like kind of iffy about it, but I just use it anyways just because I didn't want to return it, so I just make it work. I just feel like it makes me a little bit greasy, so I just need to set it more. I only use it in the center of my face because it's not my color. I've actually been using this strategy a lot lately, especially for like now when it's really hot outside in the summertime. I just don't want to use powder, so I've been liking to do 2 shades of foundation to contour and highlight my face with. I mean, I really don't know why. I just feel like the less powder you use, the more natural it looks. Might just be for me, but I also don't like to do like everything cream because then I feel like everything can get really cakey really quickly. So I try to use the least amount of product as I can just with cream, like foundation. I don't know how to explain it really. Do you see like how much lighter that is in me? So then for the outside perimeter of my face, I'm gonna go in with EX1 foundation and F500. I love using this to contour my face, either this one or the shade F400. And this is only $17 online. So then I'm just gonna do like this pretty like little tree thing. And I'm just gonna blend it out as I place it so that nothing like sets really quickly. And then when I use cream contour or like foundation to cream contour, I place it a little bit higher than my cheekbones because when you blend it out, it's gonna go down a little bit lower than normal. You see how like low that went? But then you go back in with like a translucent powder and then that gets fixed really quickly. Go ahead and drag it on my jawline. Okay, and now for concealer underneath my eyes, I'm going to go in with MAC Prep and Prime Bright Forecast, which is like an orangey peachy kind of tone. And and just drag that in the inner corner of my eye. I'm using this to conceal, and I love this concealer because it's a very light consistency. It's not a heavy formula. Like, you really could just get away with just using that, but... And now to highlight my face, I'm going to go in with Maybelline Age Rewind in the color Neutralizer. Give myself a little tree on my forehead, down my nose, and then I'm going to do it right here on the outsides. I'm running out. Now to set my face, I'm going to go in using AIRSPUN, the translucent powder. I'm going to start off underneath my eyes, just dab it out and make sure we didn't crease. Same thing with your forehead, dab it out, then set if you have fine lines like me. And then we're going to place this really sharp underneath where we place that dark foundation. We're kind of like reverse contouring. Okay, then just use any kind of brush that you like to use and just dust it all away. And while you're dusting it away, try to drag it on the rest of your face so it kind of sets everything else as well. Okay, and now I'm going to go in with Makeup Forever contour powder or bronzer powder in 25i, I believe this is, and just lightly dust that everywhere I place that darker foundation. For my nose, I'm going to use the same powder, and I go in with the E22 from Morphe, which is my favorite nose contour brush. Give myself a nose job. Now going in with my favorite highlighter, I'm going to go in with Mary Luminizer by the BALM with, of course, the Morphe fan brush, and just dust out on the high points of my cheeks. Then for my nose, I like to go in with a Morphe E36. It's like the smallest brush of life. Place it on the tip of my nose and then along the upper bridge and the Cupid's bow. Now going in with my favorite blush, one of my favorite blushes. I'm going to use Hot Mama by the BALM. Looks as so. It's like a really pretty corally, but it has like a little bit of like sheen to it, so it like highlights as well. And I'm using a Morphe E3. I'm going to go in with a mixture of burnt orange and Realgar. Let me zoom you in. Now I'm going to just go in with Cypress Umber, which is a deep brown, and just define that lower lash line. And I'm using a small definer brush from Morphe. It's an M508. Go in that poppy color and just buff out that Cypress Umber. Okay, so moving on to the lips, because I'll go get my mascara in a second. I'm going to go in with Jordana's, I think this is Coco Loco, which is a dark brown. We're going to line our entire lips with this. I love these lip liners. They're so creamy and so pigmented. Okay, now I'm going to go in with Kylie's 22, and the reason I went in with the dark brown before is because I want to give this 22 a little bit of a deeper undertone and not so bright since the eyes are pretty intense. So now I'm going to go in with Kylie's 22 lip kit, which I'm so obsessed with lately. Alright guys, that completes this video. I hope you guys enjoyed getting ready with me today. I hope you guys enjoyed this look that I came up with. Honestly, you guys don't need to use all the palettes that I used. I used an excessive amount of palettes. If you want, just get inspired by this look and use some similar shades and create your own kind of look. But I hope you guys enjoyed this look. I had fun creating it, and I will see you guys in my next video. If you aren't subscribed, hit that little button down below before you go, and I will catch you guys in my next video. Bye!